This episode of the WeedPornDaily podcast is brought to you by the WeedPornDaily Head Shop. That's right, we've got weed socks, we've got hemp wicks, we've got rolling papers, all at some of the most affordable prices you will be able to find in the world. Anywhere. Period. I guarantee it. Almost. But check it out, we've got weed socks for as low as $5 a pair. I don't know where you're going to find those prices. And of course, our hemp wicks, blowing you away and basically getting you prepared for the next zombie apocalypse, stocking you up on all the hemp wick you're ever going to need.
Ever.
To light up like candles and shit or something, I don't know. Or bowls, I guess. Yeah, hopefully you're smoking weed in the zombie apocalypse. What am I saying?
But you can use it for multiple things.
But yes,
you can also use, like our hemp wick to make like bracelets, and you can use it to do all kinds of stuff.
You could tie up some people who are maybe rowdy in the zombie apocalypse trying to take some shit from you.
Somebody trying to steal your lighter?
Yeah, you're like, what, nigga? Wrap him up with the hemp wick. He's like, damn, this is so tight. Oh, and the wax.
It's like, so strong.
Oh, man. Where did you get this stuff? WeedPornDaily.com/shop. Use the coupon code POTCAST, POTCAST, and get 10% off your order at our shop. And, our hemp wicks are 400 feet for $20 shipped. It's like I think it's like $17 or $16 without shipping. But it's like the cheapest hemp wick you're ever gonna get.
No, wait, it's not only the cheapest hemp wick you're ever gonna, hemp wick you're ever gonna get, it's like on demand. Like, this is like quick, efficient shipping here.
Yeah, you're not waiting for this in like China, you're not waiting for like a pre-order. We have our hemp wick stocked and we're ready to deliver as much as you need. Wholesale or just regular sale. We're down. What's up? WeedPornDaily.com/shop. Make sure to check out our brand new redesigned shop. It's looking pretty sexy, I must say.
I'm so excited that you got it up and running.
Yep. We're going to be having a new sale for the new shop, new site. The whole site's new, really. We're going to be having a sale. I forget the coupon code, but check our sale tag, SALE, on Tumblr, and you can see all of our previous sales and keep up with all the current sales. But it's time to get blazing. I'm down. I'm so down to light this bowl up. I'm ready for it. It's packed with a new strain. They called it Three Kings. I call it bullshit. I say it's the same strain that I smoked like 4 weeks ago, or like 5 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure I've smoked this strain at Disney on one occasion.
Okay, what haven't you smoked at Disney?
What, like nowadays, yeah, everything you're gonna be like, this nigga, everything. No. It's either I smoked it at Disney or I smoked it with my homeboys in a blunt back in the day. Those are like the two occasions that anything has ever happened. But we're gonna light up some official WeedPornDaily hemp wick here. I've been using this 400-foot ball for approximately at least 6 months now, and I haven't even dwindled it to halfway done. And I've actually caught it fire and shit. I've never caught my wicks on fire before, and I've purposely let this one burn for a while and try to see if it like catches completely on fire. And I've caught like a few extra strands on fire, and I've lost like a few feet or so to like it touch, like, like contact burn. But surprisingly, it doesn't become like a big ball of fire. It's nice.
I've gotten so scared about it, honestly.
Yeah, people message me and they're like, how does that not happen? Or this has happened to me. And I'm like, what wick did you buy? And how cheap was it made? But cheers. I've got a fat bowl here packed, topped off. Literally, I'm going to have to like squish it down to make it hittable. So cheers. I hope you have your bowls packed, your hash nails heated. I hope you have your edibles consumed approximately 2 weeks ago to this date. I hope you have your e-nails, D-nails, your V-nails. I don't know whatever company is supplying you that electronic hash nail. I hope they're calibrated and set to the proper temperature. I hope you have your carb caps if it's set to a low temp. I hope you just have a domeless nail or something if you go on high temp, something easy, something to hit it quick and hard.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
What's up, beautiful dab girl? All right. Cheers, you guys. Easy breezy, beautiful butter girl. People don't talk about butter anymore. It's all about that shatter.
One day they're gonna open up my laptop, and they're just gonna see all this like smoke residue inside of it.
What is it, like Mark Loki got booked for like little small, like minuscule micrograms of THC
On his chapstick?
his like chapstick like top.
The lid.
From just like, yeah, from breaking up weed and then touching the chapstick and then not cleaning it afterwards. So it's possible, man. Be very careful, particularly when you're crossing borders. They don't fuck around when you're messing internationally. But welcome to the Weed Porn Daily podcast. Always domestic, always dank, always organic, locally sourced, locally grown. We've got a bit of news here to get through today.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. But then we've got a bit of Weed Porn Daily news to get through.
Oh
A
no.
little shovelful. I know. And then we're outie. That's it. Boom.
Fucking painless.
Podcast outlined. There you go. We're going to be talking about Chile finally making some movements. We talked about them a couple weeks ago, letting a woman with lupus and a couple other, like, she was like fucked up. She had a laundry list of problems.
Like that poor lady needed it.
Yeah. If anyone needed medical marijuana, she needed it. And the government approved for her specifically to be allowed to use medical marijuana. And soon we're going to be learning about more advancements in that field. Chile. And we're going to be looking at the NFL. Maybe changing the rules that we keep hearing about every week being broken. Every week I tune into the news feed. I always see like one more like NFL
Athlete.
defender. I don't even know what they call them. Defenseman. Some athlete, yeah. Basically getting
A
busted
receiver.
for pot. Usually they're driving around somewhere and they get busted with it in the car, and then they get drug tested and blah 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 blah.
Well, at least let's say
What?
at least how he was found.
Oh, it's not. Well, it's just about them changing the rules.
Oh,
it's not
okay.
specifically about one person.
Oh, okay.
And we're not. I'm just like overviewing some articles here. We're going to be talking about a Texas teen that we talked about like a year ago or more, who got busted for edibles in Texas, and he was going to face life in prison for edibles because that's how they roll in Texas. They weigh the entire brownie and count that
I remember this.
as like weed. So if you have like say 9 grams of like flowers, like nugs, and then you have like a chunk of brownie, they're gonna count that whole brownie as like nug. It's pretty intense.
Imagine a whole tray.
Imagine a whole tray. You'd be in for pounds. And then it was made with hash oil. The brownies specifically, they weren't made with just like trim or leaf.
Yeah.
So it was like a concentrate, which also made it more like narcotic and shit.
Narcotic. Oh my goodness.
Um,
Sorry, that's just a really intense word.
we're going to be getting into Illinois and their medical marijuana program, and we're actually going to talk about an article that we wrote this week outlining the medical marijuana program for you guys, so that if you're in Illinois, if you're in Chicago, you can get your ass down to the weed shop hopefully next year and get yourself some legal medicine.
We wrote? You wrote.
What? I wrote. We, as collectively, Weed Porn Daily.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, you do all the work.
And we're going to talk about Massachusetts in another tanglement with licensing issues. You know, we see licensing issues all the time in business. You know, if you ever talk to any sort of business owner, particularly anyone who owns like a food industry or liquor or anything like that, any specialty industry like that, they tend to have hard times getting licenses from the state and getting like approvals and all this. So you can imagine how difficult it could be for a medical marijuana business to get a license. And we're going to be talking about that later. And then we're going to close out with some interesting news, some light news, I guess. Something to tap your toes to. We've got Tommy Chong possibly joining a cast of a popular TV competition show. And we're asking why. Bro, you just had cancer.
And you're also like 76 years old, bro.
He's the oldest guy on the cast, yeah. Like, so if you'd like to follow along with all these juicy articles, head over to the podcast post, and we have all the news articles outlined that we discuss. Or you can head over to the website, WeedPornDaily.com, hit up the news button up top, the new fancy website with the nice drop downs and the responsive retina-friendly design. And
It's retina friendly?
retina friendly.
Oh, so I can view it on here and it looks good? Oh.
Crisp. Or you can go to the news tag. You can also go to any state's corresponding tag or activism, crime, or legalized-it. So the first article on the chopping block here. Chile approves first medical marijuana farm. I can dig it. The governor. Oh, I guess I should give some credit to this news source here. Fox News Latino edition.
Is it? Okay, what is that? EFE?
It's hot fire font.
Please don't say that.
And what's EFE? EFE wrote it, I guess. And EFE is a Spanish network.
Yeah, weird.
65.
How strange.
But Chile, getting on with this medical marijuana farming. The governor of the metropolitan, I don't know why it's capitalized. The governor of the metropolitan Santiago, Claudio Orrego, announced on Monday the approval by Chilean authorities of the first farm in this capital to grow marijuana for medicinal and research purposes. The initiative, presented on May 23rd before the Agricultural and Livestock Service, or SAG, is being sponsored jointly by the DEA Foundation and the Santiago Municipality of La Florida to produce cannabis oil for use in the treatment of cancer patients. Everybody's getting in on that CBD game. We're going to turn around to, in the next year, and your neighbor is going to be growing CBD, and it's going to be, the next hot thing. This is the fucking chia pet of this, generation. It's fucking ridiculous. And, they recently had a study that came out of Colorado that said that most of, not a study, but, I heard somebody say, and it was, scientists studying it, that the children in Colorado who were receiving CBD medication, only a handful of them were actually working with the medication, and then a lot of children weren't actually reacting to the CBD medication, Charlotte's Web, that they were being provided.
Oh, so it was just that was just people's solution. They were just throwing it at them, and it wasn't even doing anything.
So now they're researching the children who it is working for, and they're trying to find out what particular gene profile is allowing them to receive the benefits of the CBD and respond to the treatment.
What a shame.
It's it's a shame. But everybody wants to get in on this now. They think it's the panacea of cancer.
Yeah.
The proposal also received support from the University of Valparaiso and Arturo Lopez Perez Foundation. I'm sorry, it's
Valparaiso.
These fucking...
At least say it
Valparaiso.
Valparaiso.
Okay, and let's talk about the foundation with 5 last names, just like every other Hispanic person.
Arturo Lopez Perez Foundation. You have to say it like Hispanic. You have to say it with
Arturo Lopez Perez Diaz Gonzalez Maria Cojones. What was the other one, man? My mom always yells at me and calls me this. What was it? Oh, Julio. Of course. Foundation, which specializes. Really it's okay. I'm Mexican. I'm allowed to do it.
No, you're not.
Which specializes in oncological treatment. Of course, cancer people would be interested in cancer cures.
Yeah.
It's something that's being done in other parts of the world. We greatly value the use of this farm for research, Oscar Concha, the Metropolitan Director of SAG, told reporters. In addition, Concha said that there's a commitment by the Daya Foundation to fulfilling the established security requirements. Of course, when you got these cannabis farms, you're not just going to be growing them on a field out in the open, willy-nilly. It's got to be in a compound with many cameras on it. This cannabis cannot grow an inch without you documenting it for security purposes.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid somebody nicks off a little trichome and smokes it in their little crack bowl. God forbid. In Chile, marijuana use is not against the law, but sale and cultivation of pot is prohibited, which in practice makes it illegal. It's basically decriminalized in Chile. That's what they're trying to say. This is, if to anyone who says that decriminalization is like the last step and that we don't need legalization,
Or it's the same thing, really?
yeah,
It's not.
boom. There you go, Chile. Prime example. But it's nice to see that they're loosening their laws. CBD has really gotten everyone to get cannabis over to their side and
Well,
start to
what it
notice
is that it's one of those things where they're bringing the consumption of cannabis to this century, essentially, because of the culture and how integrated it is with the mountains and the Andes culture, Andean culture and stuff like that. So it's really them seeking a lot more. What is it called? It's basically proven fact that it's helping people.
Yeah. Moving along to the NFL, HGH testing.
What
So many
does
acronyms.
HGH mean?
I think it's like a steroid.
Mm.
I'm not too savvy on that. I need to watch more Joe Rogan podcast where he talks to muscle heads. I always tune out. But the NFL, according to the NY Daily News by Nathaniel Vinton, the NFL to implement HGH testing, increased threshold for positive marijuana test in new drug policy. The NFL seemed to be on the cusp of the first revision to its drug policy in 8 years Friday night, following an approval by NFL Players Union to a new set of rules. The policy changes, posted on the NFL Players Association website, would add blood testing for human growth hormone, ease restrictions on marijuana use, and introduce tough disciplinary measures for anyone caught breaching the confidentiality built into the league's drug testing and arbitration procedures. I wonder what that last part means. I tried to break it down while I was reading it, and I don't necessarily understand what confidentiality. Is somebody letting people know, oh yeah, this guy's pissing hot? I don't know. The NFL said late Friday night that the league has not adopted the changes yet, and some issues remain unresolved. Other changes, as outlined by the union, would impact the treatment of amphetamine use, and arbitrators.
You know what it is? They probably have things built into their system to protect the identity of certain players and people in the league and things like that, and that's probably what they're discussing.
Man, there's no knowledge safe in this world. It's tagged 420 on Raw Story. Moving along. From Raw Story by Travis Geddes. Not associated with Getty Images at all. No. Texas teen no longer facing life in prison for pot brownies, but he still could get 20 years. 20 years. A Texas man is no longer facing a life term in prison for pot brownies after prosecutors decided the case wasn't worth the effort. Jacob Lavoro was charged with a first-degree felony because under Texas law, the sugar, flour, and other baking ingredients used to make the brownies could be considered with the weight of the hash oil. Police say Lavoro admitted he planned to sell the brownies to friends for $25. The penalty for that charge was a 5-year to life sentence, and the 19-year-old Lavoro's case received national attention on websites across the political spectrum. I thought this was interesting. I had to editorialize these next 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
The district attorney in the Williamson County decided not to pursue the first-degree felony case, and a grand jury indicted Lavoro last week on a second-degree felony charge for possession of THC and the state felony charge for possession of marijuana. We figured that it would be a simpler, more straightforward case, said District Attorney Mark Brunner. We wouldn't get lost in the weeds of arguing about adulterants and dilutants, even though the law allows us to make that argument. Brunner said the brownies contained THC from hash oil, but the concentration of the drug had not been determined. Yeah, fuck Mark Brunner. Seriously. That statement. That was just that is the epitome of the problem in the justice system right now. You've got lawyers who are completely brainwashed by the law, or they just blindly follow the law, and it's like a game for them. Putting this kid into prison for life is like a game for him. It sounds like
it's not even a game for him. It's literally like another stat in his book.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he lost another one, or like, oh well, kind of thing. It's
looking at my rule book, it looks like I could put you in prison for life. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you off light. Like, go fuck yourself, compadre.
Like, a lot of these things, like these kind of like unnecessary charges, in my opinion, like it's really a game to them. It really is.
Hopefully this kid gets off with no jail time, but sadly that doesn't work that way in Texas unless you're a big celebrity and you can just throw money at them.
Yeah.
Oh, Willie Nelson. Moving along to the Associated Press Wire. I don't even know who I would give credit there. One of the many anonymous writers of the Associated Press.
Yeah,
AP News now.
AP.
Illinois' medical marijuana applications top 2,000. We're going to be talking about applications later. But it's fascinating to see this kind of surge, and with the limitation. More than 2,000 people have applied for ID cards, allowing them to use medical marijuana since the application process began this week. Authorities began accepting applications Tuesday from patients whose last names begin with letters A through L. Others can start applying starting November 1st.
I remember this discussion.
Yep. So that's 2,000, and that's just like the first half of the alphabet.
Wait, no, this is like 2,000 people in the first week.
And yeah, the application process hasn't even finished for the first half. So this is a nice.
This is like 2,000 people that they're on their game, basically.
It's nice to see that 2,000 people were aware of the program. I feel like this kind of thing has a very slow rollout. The propaganda takes a while to get to the people. People don't necessarily go to government websites and shit, and it has to travel by word of mouth.
It's like signing up to vote. It's like not everybody does it. They do it when they're in school, kind of thing. So it's like you have to go looking for these kind of things. Yeah.
So you don't have to go looking for this information. We've compiled it all into a neat guide for you guys.
Oh, look at that.
If you go over to our pot primer, you can click. If you hover over the FAQ and you go to our ganja guide section, it's like our primer, all of our guides on one big page, and you'll be able to find it there. Or you can just use the Google search or something. I don't know. But
Just
it's a
type in
guide.
Illinois.
The Illinois tag. Guide to Illinois' Medical Cannabis Program. We break down the law itself, and we let you know what the actual outlines are, how much you can possess, what makes you a patient, how do you apply to be a patient, what is a caregiver. I thought that was very interesting. Caregivers in this case, like in Michigan and other states, a caregiver can actually grow for the patient, and they can make like hash and things like that, and they're basically the producer for, you know, the person who maybe can't cultivate themselves. And a caregiver in this case in Illinois is just someone, if you're like disabled and you can't get out of the house, it's someone to go run to the store for you. That's literally all it is. It's somebody who can go to the dispensary, pick up weed under your name, and then have like your possession limit, bring it back to you, and that's it. And they can't smoke it themselves.
No, of course, I'm sure. Well, it's like a job, you know.
Yeah.
They're a runner, basically.
And they can't get paid for it. Like,
it's donation based.
Explicitly, no, they can't even accept any form of compensation at all.
But then how do they get, like, how do they make a living? It's just
literally, what they're expecting is they think, like, you know, your wet nurse or whatever is going to be, like, she's just going to run down to the dispensary, too.
Oh, like, so if I'm a person, let's say I have cancer, and I have somebody that's already staying in my home, taking care of me on the daily, they can go and apply, as I'm applying for being a medical marijuana patient.
I write them down as my caregiver.
I write them down as my caregiver, so they're on the record that they can go and pick up for me.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
And that is how it works there. Very, very stringent. You can only buy from a dispensary. No one is allowed to grow at home. And currently there are no dispensaries open. And
so there's 2,000 people with licenses, but they...
Well, applications that have gone through. It takes like 2 to 3 weeks to process the applications. So we'll see how many of those people are actually eligible for the program. But even then, when they get their card, they won't be able to do anything with it.
Well, so basically we're not seeing any movements until like December, basically, right?
Basically. Probably longer. We do have a list of districts that are expecting dispensaries. It is a pretty big list. You got the city of Chicago, you've got Cook County outside of Chicago, and just a shitload of districts if you check out the page, all expecting dispensaries. It'll be interested to see how many really do open up dispensaries. We've seen in Colorado not every county is as... It's a
really small central state, though.
Yeah. Are other medical marijuana cards allowed in Illinois? No. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
So there will be, interesting.
Yep. And this was the most interesting part about the Illinois one, and it's something that was co-opted, I'm sure, by the MPP, who helped push this bill and write it and get it to the point where it's at. Patients are actually protected under this medical marijuana law. I mean, not really, because it's state law, and federal law still trumps it. So anything that you write on state paper isn't going to matter on the federal paper. It's like fucking just, you're making wishes and promises at that point. But it's nice to see that they're doing it anyway. It's symbolic. Patients may not be arrested, prosecuted, or face any criminal or other penalties for engaging in medical cannabis use compliant under state law. And then patients in need of organ transplants may not be discriminated by doctors. So if you gotta get a lung transplant, you gotta get a liver, and you're smoking weed, they can no longer deny you for that in Illinois.
That's so crazy.
That's very nice, if you have your card. However, landlords may not refuse to rent to patients, but they may say that you can't smoke on premises. So it's going to be very difficult. And of course, schools and employers, anyone who's a student, anyone who's a teacher, anyone who's part of like a government program that's federally funded, probably can't consume cannabis because they risk losing their federal funding.
So any private institutions or private like schools
are still cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait, so what about smoking in public?
And smoking in public is not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
They make strict policies on that. And employers may still enforce drug-free environments, and they can't be required to allow you to like carry cannabis on site or smoke it. So it's just all on you to do it before.
But how does that have to like for like what is it called? Like disabilities acts? Like there's nothing against this?
No.
Like to prevent them from carrying their medication with them and stuff?
Explicitly,
Yeah.
like it's written in like this. And it's like, that says that you can't be quote unquote impaired by marijuana on the job.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I can be impaired on like Vicodin or anything.
Well, I mean, technically no, but
Oh.
you could bring them to work. Nobody's stopping you. And
Yeah.
who's to say you pop one or two? What's up? What was I was trying to see if you could smoke in public. There's a huge list of conditions allowed for the medical marijuana program. It was nice to see that they have some classics like glaucoma that actually has some better treatments than cannabis. So a lot of states have actually been dropping it off of the medical cannabis symptoms list. So Illinois is still rocking it. And stuff like hepatitis, HIV, AIDS, ALS, cancer, of course, muscular dystrophy, RSD, Parkinson's, Tourette's. A nice, solid list.
Yeah, this is a pretty great list.
Lupus.
Yeah.
Interstitial cystitis. Where is the smoking outdoors?
Why don't you just control F?
I did, and it doesn't work. Public. Oh, it's just gonna find the... Man, I said like public health department like 20 times in this article. Yeah. Medical cannabis use is prohibited in, quote, a school bus, on the grounds of any preschool or primary or secondary school, in any correctional facility, in any motor vehicle, in any private residence used at any time to provide licensed child care or any other similar social service care on the premises, or in any public place where an individual could reasonably be expected to be observed by others. A public place includes all parts of a building owned in a whole or in part or leased by the state or local unit of government.
Wait, so all buildings?
A public place does not include a private residence unless the private residence is used to provide healthcare services. And of course, you can't use medical cannabis anywhere at a healthcare facility or anywhere where smoking is prohibited by the Smoke-Free Illinois Act. So basically, I'm sure any bars or anything
And
like
knowingly
that.
in close proximity to anybody under the age of 18.
And that too.
Just not around kids. Like, I mean, that's basically the whole, like, to sum it up, just, like, not around children.
Well, not around children, and you also just literally can't sit in the park on, like, a bench or something and smoke your joint. Like, God forbid. You have to go somewhere where nobody can see you in public. Does that even exist? Like, where can I go in public that nobody's gonna see me? And I'm not gonna look like a creep or something, like, trying to, like, not be seen. I don't know. They're still pushing people. Like, it's
well,
crazy.
what they're doing is that they're treating them like smokers. Like, the Smoke-Free Illinois Act was not for cannabis. That was something that was, like...
But I'm sure that I could smoke on a park bench, and people could look at me. Like, I could smoke in a public place. Like, I could smoke on a sidewalk, and it would be fine. You know, but I can't smoke cannabis on a sidewalk because people would be, quote-unquote, observing me. God forbid somebody sees me smoking cannabis. But I can smoke a cigarette.
But how do you know? I mean, I don't know what the Smoke-Free Illinois Act is.
But it's set, like, that's just one outline. Like, there's other outlines that say, like, any public place that you can be observed. Any public place.
No, but what I'm saying is that this isn't necessarily, like, is this discriminating specific, like, this whole section?
This is all for cannabis. This is literally from the Cannabis Act, copy and pasted. And the Smoke-Free Illinois Act, now they're just basically rolling it over to cannabis as well with this statement.
I understand all of this here
Yes.
is for cannabis.
Yes.
This segment here,
Yes.
this was already, like, pre-outlined in an act that was not in relation to cannabis or medical cannabis.
This tiny part, yes.
Yes.
The Smoke-Free Illinois Act, that only has been somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
and that is something that is also in a lot of other states. Indoor Clean Air Acts. We talked about it previously with Colorado as well.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Never mind.
I mean, what do you...
You don't understand what I'm saying, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Moving along. Because I think we covered it all. We've basically covered every single, subsection here. You can check out the guide for full detail, as well as source links. You can find links directly to the government website, as well as links directly to the applications where you can get your card, if you're A through L, during this particular time period. Past December, basically January 1st, they're going to open up applications to anyone, not restricted to any particular last name. So, if you wait out a little bit, you won't have to jump through any weird, loopholes. Or hurdles, rather. And this next article, it's something that we see a lot. It's something that it's plagued the industry now, the medical marijuana industry, with all the lottery licensing systems that have been put into place. Rather than, giving a license based on merit, or even if they do it, they still do it wrong. But usually, rather than doing it based on merit, they'll do a lottery-based system where they'll just put everybody's name into a bucket, randomly pick someone, and say, this is the best dispensary for the job. We're only going to have 5 dispensaries in the state, and the best way to choose them is completely randomly. So we're seeing a lot of contention with business owners who are investing thousands, if not millions of dollars into these businesses. And then you also can't have direct ties to a lot of banks and things like that. And it's a very difficult business to run.
I was gonna say, this kind of sounds like how it's gonna happen with or how it happened with, was it Washington? That people were not they were selling the business titles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That people were just adopting businesses instead of applying for the licenses.
Yeah. Well, this case is actually more I think it was Washington too, where in Washington there was a guy who lied on his resume, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm from Harvard," or something.
Oh, I went to Yale or something.
Yeah, and they call up Yale
or Cornell, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cornell was like,
he took a semester.
Owes us money,
oh, he owes us money.
If anything.
Yeah.
So another lawsuit over dispensary licensing in Massachusetts. This comes to us from the MMJBusinessDaily.com by the wonderful writer of MMJ Business Daily. The Massachusetts dispensary licensing process has evoked the ire of several applicants who feel they were unjustly passed over for operating permits, and now a total of 7 companies have sued the state over the issue. The latest lawsuit, filed this week in Suffolk Superior Court, alleges that the licensing officials passed over 3 medical marijuana companies that received top marks in the application process without providing an explanation. In January, state health officials initially told the trio, Beacon Wellness Center Incorporated, JM Farms Patient Group, and Mass Organic Therapy Incorporated, that they needed to remove various executives who failed background checks. In response, the companies ousted those executives, but the businesses still did not receive licenses, the suit contends. While 4 other cannabis companies were either given provisional licenses or allowed to reapply for different dispensary locations after they complied with the state's demand. Blah.
That's like a run-on sentence.
Yeah. 4 other dispensaries were allowed to reapply. The courts, however, thus far, sided with the state in similar cases. It's interesting to see these. You basically have these kind of bureaus pop up in the state once medical marijuana gets legalized. Either it becomes a compartment of the liquor board or something, or it is the liquor board, or it's the health department, even worse. you get these people who become like gods.
It is
of,
God
like,
modeling, though. Yeah.
distribution here, and you really wonder like how political this really gets to a certain extent. You know, like what, or just maybe not necessarily how political, or just how disorganized. You know, you initially want to just jump to like who's bribing who here,
Well,
but
it's
it might just be like who's like fucking up the paperwork or something. What were
how
you
likely
thinking?
is that, though?
Very likely, with like new established systems that have no precedence. I don't know. Well, we'll see how this rolls out. Hopefully, dispensaries stop getting discriminated against. It's really disheartening to see just how many dispensaries out there really invest so much just to get turned down at the last minute like that, and for like stupid reasons too.
I mean, it happens to
And
everybody.
especially too because you're dealing in an industry where you want people who have experience with cannabis, but cannabis was illegal just like a year ago, you know, in some cases, in some states. So you have people with criminal records, you know, hey, I grew cannabis, you know, I got busted for it. You're still going to hold that against me? Like, that makes me not suitable for a job? I'm a criminal? I'm like a part of the black market, like, drug lord, just because I wanted to, like, maybe grow some plants in my backyard and learn how to cultivate the plant. So it's interesting to see how it's playing out, and hopefully...
I mean, like, part of that, though, it's also, like, that's just a part of, like, that American, like, way that we treat people who have gone through, like, our criminal system. It's, like, in Europe, it's, like, it's not about, like, it's not a corrections facility, it's, like, a criminal facility. Like, it's, they're dealing with, like, they're punishing people. That's all they're doing, is that they're punishing them, and then they're rubbing their faces in the dirt for it. You know, it's,
and
like...
even if you come out and, like, hey, the thing that we rubbed your face in the dirt for, hey, now it's legal. They don't like go back on.
And they're like, guess what? You can't join the party.
Still.
Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah. So on lighter news, I thought I'd save this for last. I don't even want to read this article. The first word threw me off with this article. This writer was trying too hard. Way too hard.
You want me to try?
You can try. I mean...
Do you know how to say it?
A septuagenarian.
Yeah, that's it.
Septuagenarian.
Yeah.
Basically, septuagenarian.
A 7-year-old.
A 70-year-old. They could have just said a 70-year-old, but they had to be fancy like that. But Tommy Chong, putting on his dank dancing shoes for Dancing with the Stars. Coming to us from the Cannabist, the 76-year-old actor, who has an endorsement deal going on with a Pueblo pot shop and many other ventures, like Canna Saver. He's been hooking up with the dude from... He grows veganic only. He only grows veganic. Scott from Rare Dankness. He's been hanging out with Scott, and he's been trying to get his own strain out or something. Veganic.
Let's not talk about it. Okay.
That means that...
I know what it is, but let's just keep going. Let's not address it.
That means it's more fire, baby.
Okay. Let's keep going.
You should see the plants. They look so deprived of all nutrients. They get so purple and dank.
The Pueblo Pot Shop, among many other ventures.
Basically, he's like the oldest guy on Dancing with the Stars, next to like another 72-year-old contestant.
Like, he's still older than her. The other contestant just happened to be a female contestant.
Yeah. Like, dude just got off of cancer, and he wants to stress his body out on a TV show. Like, I understand, man. Like, you're a celebrity. You gotta get your face out there. You gotta use it while you got it. But, like, I don't think anybody would blame Tommy. Especially with... He's been touring. He's been doing his comedy shows. I don't know if he's been doing it with Cheech or not. But I know he's been doing comedy shows. He had one for 420 at least. He's been doing his podcast with his fucking son. Like, not anymore, though. But he's been busy. Dude's been around. So I don't necessarily...
He's been keeping active.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to do this. You know, like pick your battles. And one of my battles would have been like writing a book, and the comfort
Well,
of my
like,
like house.
How much do you think he's getting paid to do this? And how much do you think he's gonna get paid to wear like a green samba outfit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how this show works. Do people get eliminated? I mean, is there a
Yeah.
possibility that he just
It's like
gets
what they
eliminated
do
in the
is that
second round
they pair like a star with like a professional dancer,
to like train him?
and they train them and they work as their partner and they come up with like routines and stuff like that, and they do performances for judges and stuff like that. And they go throughout the weeks, and some people they get X or whatever, and that whole deal. We should start watching it. Like I
guess now.
I
that he's
periodically would catch the show if my family was watching it back in the beginning, kind of thing.
on. Like, I wonder
But we could-
what the studio's trying to do with this move. Like, are they trying to catch the stoner audience here?
They are, because
Are
guess
they,
what?
like,
We're gonna watch. We're gonna
Colorado
tune in.
legalized, and they're like, man, we got a whole state that will be tuning into this now.
We have like but I mean, it's just like this is like becoming a very like common thing to be discussing now. Like you see it a lot more in the news now.
I
Like
guess, yeah. Tommy, bringing it back.
times have changed.
Tommy, please don't have a heart attack. Please. We already lost so many.
Oh my goodness.
So many. Real talk. Please, Tommy.
Well, like they should have got Cheech on. Cheech has been like healthy, living life. He's been on cooking shows.
Man,
He's
why
been
didn't they
competing.
call me, man?
He's on the competing circuit.
I would have pimped my cooking show, man.
Why do you have to do that?
Because that's his voice, man.
But that's not yours.
No, man, but that's his voice. Doing his voice. There's two more things I wanted to discuss. Can you vamp a little bit?
Vamp about what though?
Look at how good my butt looks right now.
Your butt doesn't look good at all.
So now that you vamped up my butt, DJ Short. I wanted to discuss this real
Who is
quick
that?
before we get over the news. DJ Short is a cannabis celebrity, a breeder, cultivator,
Okay.
well known in the industry for many years. He is
What state is he hailing from?
he's from the Northwest, I believe.
The Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest.
That's the only Northwest.
Don't like quote me on that though. I think he's from the Midwest. But he's the guy who invented blueberry.
Really?
He is the inventor of blueberry. DJ Short's blueberry.
Wow.
He got some exotic like equatorial strains together, and he was able to cross them with some nice Kush like mountain strains or something. You can hear one of the stories that he tells on a what is it?
Strain hunters.
Free weed,
Oh.
free weed, oi oi. Danny Tanko and the normal radio.
Could we go to the actual article now? Okay.
But he was on that podcast. He's been on a couple times.
Wait, which one? The
DJ
free
Short.
What?
And he's been on Free Weed.
Free weed. Okay.
And this was a recent, like what they do with Free Weed podcast is they just record
Conversations.
what is it, speeches or whatever, like
Panels.
That's what they're called. Panels from Cannabis Cups. So usually they'll have like a cultivation panel where they have a lot of the leading seed breeders and people from the cultivation industry, maybe people who do like giant scale grow houses, greenhouses, things like that. So they record that, and DJ Short was on the panel sharing his usually very defined opinion. He's been growing for so long. He's got his own opinion on growing.
Yeah.
Like he believes
As many do.
that you should have your lights on for 11 hours and then have them off for 12 hours or 13, rather than the 12-12 cycle that people normally do, or even the 13-11, vice versa. That way your plants get a little more time to rest and recuperate, and you save a little more on your electricity every month. It's just like pluses all around. But he discusses specifically something very fascinating about the actual biology of the cannabis plant. He discussed how old strains actually didn't have trichome heads. Like if you
Tropical strains.
old tropical equatorial like South American like strains, they would not have, if you were to look at the cannabis plant under a microscope, and if you were to look under the trichome tag on WeedPornDaily, if you're not sure what they look like, you can go to TRICHOME, and that is the trichome tag, and you can see just really nice macro shots of trichomes. But apparently the trichomes didn't have heads before. They would actually just grow with silic hairs. And it's something that the cannabis plant does already. It's just it's basically just the trichome without the head. You know, it's nothing special necessarily. But apparently the plants would grow these silic hairs rather than the bulbous heads. And the silic hairs wouldn't have the head to contain the oil, so the oil would just like secrete onto the actual plant matter itself, and the nug would just be like really sticky and caked with just oil. And the reason that he says the bulbous trichome heads were developed was because for hash production. Because for hash, you want to actually keep the oils intact, and you want to, if possible, excise them from the plant matter. Particularly with the old preparations of hash, like water or just sieving. You know, we weren't necessarily doing like butane extractions back in the day, like hundreds of years ago. But we have been doing water extractions and dry, like sieve, mesh, like extractions for a very long time. And those type of extractions are perfect with bulbous, heady trichomes. You talk to any bubble hash person, and they're probably growing really, really indica dominant strains that are like stout, really like thick ass like trichome production, really short heads, probably no stalk, just like a bulbous head if possible. Like that's what they're looking for. So
sorry, hard to imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, he discusses just that bit of history on the actual botany aspect of it. And I find it interesting just to hear the developments of the plant, because what?
Well, I was just gonna say it's just like another piece of like human ingenuity kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like we made like bananas turn from like shitty like green things to like nice yellow, sweet, wonderful treats.
Well, we've just like made like a system out of every plant we grow for harvest, you know?
Yeah, like we have what characteristics we're looking for, and then we genetically modify it until we highlight those characteristics. Yeah, and it's interesting to hear the progression of pot and how it was developed.
I think it's just like agriculture in general is very interesting.
Yeah. I guess we can discuss it another time. The Rastafarians are slowly gaining more acceptance in society now. The cannabis use is becoming more and more socially acceptable. I thought that was something that we don't really discuss very often, because Rastafarian religion comes off as almost like a joke, or like a...
They don't eat pork, right?
I'm not sure of their restrictions, any dietary restrictions.
Because I believe I have a friend who's Rastafarian, and I had a friend in high school that was also Rastafarian, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember it's kind of like
Judaism.
Like Hebrewism. What was it they had?
Judaism.
Well, up top it said it's Ethiopian Hebrew.
Spirituality.
Jah.
Do you see it? Like...
Dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
They don't eat shellfish,
fish or pork.
There you go. And some abstain from all meat and flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen... Yeah, like I have a few friends are.
This is a really serious religion, man.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking serious, iTow? They took their brand from like...
Wait, so like a lot of other people who take like common words and culture and revamp them?
Revamp them or just like appropriate them and slap the like Rasta like colors on it
Yeah.
And just, like,
Cultural
shame it.
appropriation.
Yeah. Okay.
Or religious appropriation,
I
really.
just
Well, it is a culture and a
never knew.
religion. But yeah, I know. I have 2 friends that are Rastafari and that they're both vegetarians. Yeah.
But this is a real religion. It seems like a joke to people. It's like, what is it? The spaghetti monster, to some extent, Pastafarianism. But this is like real life for some
I
people.
wouldn't. I would honestly, like, I didn't know that people didn't take it seriously. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, this all, it just, like, from the people that I've met, it makes total sense.
Well, you gotta imagine that this is like not one of the main sects of religion. It's not Catholicism. It's not Christianity.
I guess that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
It was the culture that I grew up in. Yeah.
This is just one of those, like, you might as well practice voodoo, as far as some people are concerned.
Really?
Like, this is like a complete joke. So it's really nice to see that slowly but surely, not only will the religion gain more respect, but the people who practice the religion will be able to practice it more freely, thanks to more liberal cannabis laws. Yeah. I'd be really interested to learn about Rastafarianism. I've never gotten into Bob Marley or anything like that. And every time everybody goes to Jamaica, they always smoke up at Bob Marley's like grave and shit, and they make a big deal about it. And I don't know enough about the guy. I haven't seen any docs or anything about him. I guess that's the point. They don't really make docs about.
It's a beautiful photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Moving
That's
along.
so crazy. I didn't know that was like a thing.
What?
That was like a joke.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so sad.
Well, it's
Like-
what it is that it gets tied to the stereotypical, guy in dreadlocks, smoking like the like
The peace pipes and stuff.
peace pipe joint like thing that they make over there, and it just becomes like that's all it's about. Like you don't realize that they have dietary restrictions, that they actually have like we have like a definition of our God and things like that. It's not just about smoking weed. That's what it is to some people. They think it's like a 420 religion.
Well, I can't
something.
imagine how sad it must be for some like young children that they get discriminated against, or like
Yeah, for their dreadlocks
like
and stuff.
well, no, not necessarily like like a child. Like, imagine being a child in school and just saying like, oh yeah, me and my parents were Rastafarian, and it's like a proud thing for them. It's like there are people that they grow up in that environment and then they're told like that's a joke, like you're kidding, kind of thing. It's very sad. Another form of discrimination. Horrible. But
Nice to see gaining acceptance.
yeah, I'm just so happy to hear that, and like I hope that they truly get recognized. Yeah. And in a way, it's almost like I don't want to say, but it's like black erasure. Like, it's just like yeah.
Well, that's a significant aspect of it too, is that a huge population of Rastafari people, and the Rastafari movement rather, are African American or of like some colored skin descent, where you look at them and I don't know, it immediately they just get racially profiled.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like just like, obviously this is a very shallow thing, like just looking on Wikipedia, like you just see like keywords, like a lot of things like Judea and like the way that they reinterpret the Bible and things like that, like they're on almost the same link of like Christianity and like like Judaism. It's religion, crazy to me, it's like all the same thing. It's all the same and shit. It's crazy how just because they're from a certain part of the world, and
because one of their practices is
like making their hair to represent the 7 locks of Samson and stuff, like
the cannabis use is a sacrament. It's a spiritual
I
act
bet
for them. So that in itself, I'm sure for some people, is frowned upon.
I'm sure it's the same thing how like they're like, oh yeah, Christianity, they just drink wine and get drunk.
Yeah.
How sad.
Yeah. Disappointing. But moving along, we're done with the news. That is it. That is all for the news this week. I guess we could talk about WeedPornDaily stuff.
So the big news of the week is...
Then I'm packing another bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big news of the week.
Is that you spent your time?
I've been spending the last, I think I talked about it on the last part. Did I? I think I did. I think I mentioned on the last podcast I've been working for the last couple weeks on, like, redesigning the site, trying to make it more responsive, just more engaging for users, make you guys actually want to use the site and explore it more and things like that, make it faster, make it smoother, make it sexier. Just better on every regard, more professional. So, today was the big day. I actually went from the test server and I went live with the design. And that was chaos. Absolute chaos. Just like I expected, but in no way that I expected. Like, I couldn't have prepared for it. I made sure I made backups of everything. You know, I had backups of the databases. I had backups of, like, all the hard files. I had backups of, Word, like, the WordPress stuff. I made backups of that. Like, I was backing up everything to have a backup. And, like, backing up, like, subunits. Like, I would back up the whole thing and back up portions of it so that I could specifically have the portions, like, to work with. I was backed up. So I uploaded the theme, and the theme just crashed the whole website. I don't know if you guys were on the website. I actually had one person make one last purchase right before, like, the website
crashed?
went completely,
How
like,
wonderful.
haywire. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's so well timed.
But yeah, the website went completely down, and I had to spend the next, like, couple hours just literally trying to figure out how to install the theme without it crashing the site. And there was no solution without me actually just sitting there and, like, recoding the theme extensively. So what I did was I uninstalled the whole website and reinstalled it from scratch and threw the theme on there and checked if it worked, and it worked. And I was like, okay, something was wrong with, like, my system and not the theme.
Interesting.
So
okay.
put in all the old users and all the old products and everything into the thing, like, from my backups, and I had to, like, redo all the settings and stuff. Like, I had to make sure all the settings were right. Yeah, and now it's finally working. Now that I got it to work. After much like hours, like, much of the time wasn't even spent with me working. It's literally spent me watching shit get uploaded and files getting replaced on, like, a server and shit. It's stimulating as fuck. But the website is up now. I'm working right now on getting each individual page to look good and work. I made them look good before I went live, but there was no way to just, like, transfer it over. I have to do it, like, by hand. So I have to go and copy and paste every single page individually.
Yeah, I was watching you do that. That was pretty intense.
And I have to basically get, like, every page back up from our, like the Illinois guide. I think it's down right now, probably. So I'm gonna have to get that back up. But new site is up. The shop should be working fine, hopefully. And I'll get other sites of the other parts of the site working soon. You go. It's not even on that list yet. I haven't updated the menus for it.
Oh, you didn't put it here?
Oh, I did put it there, actually.
Where is it?
Did I? I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. It's somewhere.
Wait, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Oh. Oh.
Oh. Yeah. So I got a lot of pages to add. It's just crazy doing everything myself. Like, I had this really big plan where I was going to do this really seamlessly, and I had everything set up on the test server, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna, like, drag and drop and shut down the website, like, late at night, like 2 in the morning when no one's on, and I'm gonna do all the updates and deal with all the bugs, and I'll be done at, like, 6 in the morning, and I'll call it a day. And I just haven't had the energy for that any night, like, at all. So like today I was like, I gotta do it during the day. I've got to just get it done. And I powered through it.
I'm so happy you did that.
So hopefully the site brings in some more sales. Hopefully it just doesn't completely flop and doesn't work for people. We're going to see soon. But with this new site, I'm going to be releasing more articles. I've really been trying to up the writing game a lot more. And more of the graphical game too. We're really stepping up the graphics. No more seeing like old ass Stoner Sunday graphics from like 3 years ago. We actually have some updated Stoner Sunday graphics now and things like that. I released the Disney video on our YouTube channel.
Oh, how wonderful.
Sadly disabled for mobile users because it has the Boot to You song in it, which is like copyrighted, which is bullshit. It's you can't watch it in Germany and if you're on a mobile device.
Why Germany though?
Because UMG doesn't want Germany listening to Boot to You for some reason.
Oh, how sad.
But the video is up, so if you watch it on your desktop, you'll be able to see that. The rolling video is also up. That was pretty popular. Longer than the actual Disney video too, I think. So you can check both of those out on our YouTube channel. I've also been posting up the podcast on our YouTube channel, so you guys can get your fix of the podcast on there. If you're not a fan of iTunes like me now, I say fuck iTunes. I've been getting all my podcasts on YouTube now, basically, or Stitcher, kind of, but YouTube basically. So I've been trying to give people that opportunity as well.
And if you donate to the We Porn Daily podcast, you can have it recorded in live video format.
Yeah. Or what is it?
Selfless plug.
You can just get us like a mic. I had somebody comment on one of the YouTube videos, and they were like, "The audio is so fucking low. You should boost the levels or normalize it or something."
And I was like, "Bitch,
I normalize it, I noise cancel it, and I boosted it. Like, talk to me about that, son.
Talk to me about buying me a new mic.
Talk to me about how that particular podcast, it was so low that I had to boost it about 30 to 40 decibels. Talk to me about that before you talk to me about, yeah. But whatever, man.
It sounds like we need to light this bowl.
Yeah.
Because I want one.
Yeah, you've been without one longer than me. I got plans. Dreams Unlimited Dank.
Don't talk about it because you know what's going to happen?
Somebody's
going to do it.
Fuck, man, I want to talk about it though.
No, you can't talk about it.
I have such big dreams, people. You don't understand how big my dreams are.
Plug in. If you know anybody from Dreams Unlimited, I'm looking to get a package and they're book solid and I need a Dreams Unlimited package.
If you got Pete Werner's personal cell phone number, let me know.
I need to talk to Kathy or Teresa. If you're watching, I'm a fan. I would like one of your visitors. What is it? Your visitor center packages?
I know Dustin will send me his ticket. He's got a price. Cheers, you guys. Found a seed in one of the nugs this morning. That's probably one of the crackles that you hear. Or maybe one of the twigs that I didn't pick out of the bowl. Woo! Decent bowl hit though. Surprisingly smoother than the last string that we had. Despite me working on the website, I've also had time to pump out some Disney designs. I've been working on a new series of designs that I've been hoping to get printed at some point. But it's basically just your favorite classic Disney characters all consuming cannabis in some form or another.
It's been turning out really nice, and you've captured the aesthetic really well. And what's really funny is like you basically done the whole Goof Troop.
Yeah, I've focused on like doing the Goof Troop. I did Goofy first, and then I did Max and Roxanne, and I've got to do, I think, PJ, and
PJ's Pete's kid?
PJ's Pete's son, and who was the guy who's like, she's it? Wizzy.
Like, I don't even know. I want to know his name because I feel bad
It's
for
the
not knowing it.
Cheesy Tower of Pizza.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Where's the IMDb at? I can't see it.
15 plus more. Fuck, what is his name? I just want to know. I want to know.
Robert
Zimmerowski. I remember that too. Robert Zimmerowski. The principal. But definitely got to do him. He is like made for this movie.
He's perfect.
Definitely.
He was voiced by Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why, man.
You know what they did? They fucking made Pauly Shore into like a goofy character.
Yeah.
They didn't like.
They didn't even.
Try.
But Bobby is definitely gonna see that.
I think his name was Bobby. Like they called him Bobby.
Yeah, I saw it on the
yeah.
page. But that, and I'm also I also ran a giveaway recently, where we were giving away a Road Dog case of pre-rolled joints. We just gave away a bunch of stuff from like a 420 goodie box and some of our stuff. You can check out the giveaway tag for that. But we asked you guys to tell us your favorite TV character, movie character, or cartoon character that you would like to get stoned with. And
Who won?
It was Jake from State Farm, and he won.
I think it's like it's Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
okay or
Yeah. But they won with.
He won with the Mad Hatter, which I thought was cool. Like the list basically gave me just more fuel for like
character
stuff
ideas
to draw. Yeah, it was very nice. I was definitely down for some Mad Dabber stuff. I mean, I've seen it already, but I just have to do my version of it. It'll be nice.
Free game.
Yep. So looking forward to that. I've been looking into actually making some die cut prints, so you'll be seeing those soon. I settled on printing the I Can't Believe It's Not Legal design first, because I think it's one of our strongest and more flexible designs that everybody would be interested in. And
it's not something so obvious. It's not like buying like a weed sticker, basically.
Yeah, it's more subtle. It's
you
like
can put it on your
parody.
laptop.
Yeah, and it's exactly, and it's not like bound to one particular series like Goof Troop or Disney or something like that. Like everybody likes it because it's just weed. So we'll see how that goes with the first sticker run. If that goes well, I will definitely print more like unique and off-kilter stickers for sure.
Off-kilt.
Well, I'm so down to do like I already have it set up in the Illustrator file where I have like a series of just like the same print but just like small variations of it, like with patterns and colors and things like that. And I'm just
you're gonna have to do a retrospective at some point. You got to do a retrospective before you're 25. That's the goal as an artist, you know.
Yeah.
No, you don't know this? No. It's like a trope. It's like you got to have your retrospective by 25. Can you pack me a bowl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, like it's always like the thing. It's like if you're anybody, you should be having retrospective. Well, like you should be already have something in the Whitney biannual by like 24, and then a retrospective by 25. So it's like a follow up to your biannual piece. No. You know, some.
Why don't you talk about that Grease video we saw?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna bring that up too. So today on the website we posted a video from the what is it 422 or 4TT 4TT.
420 something.
It's a YouTube account, a YouTube group. 4TT, and
Florida based.
They're Florida based.
Yeah.
Interesting. Makes sense. It is a like promotional campaign video that is promoting Yes on 2. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up so I have like the correct details.
Amendment 2 in Florida. The medical marijuana ballot going on November 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
Sorry, I'm so bad at this. I feel like I'm like slacking on the game. When did you post it? Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's a parody on "You're the One That I Want" from Greece, and they're not from Florida. So they drove 2,500 miles to like shoot it. So I don't think they were in Florida.
Yeah, they're from Florida.
I thought you said that this location was in Florida.
It's also in Florida. Florida's big, baby.
That's a little crazy. Really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's so
They're
intense.
probably from North Florida and they went down to South Florida or like vice versa. Something like that.
That's so intense. But yeah, it's literally a shot-for-shot recreation of the end of the Grease movie. So if you remember when, like, basically school's ending, and it's like the end of the school, like, end of the school year, summer, like, vacation, what is it called? Like, festival that they have, like a carnival. And they basically, it's just like a parody. It's like a write-off of the song that they do. And I have to say, for somebody who has like watched Grease maybe 18 to 20 times in their life, it was pretty great. It was pretty spot on. Obviously, they had some issues with some lip syncing, but it was an excellent video, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is looking for just like a fun. Oh wow, I didn't realize it. The video's 4:20 long, like 4 minutes 20 seconds long.
It was like 4:30 something earlier. They edited it down.
They did.
Yeah.
That's funny. I thought you even noticed that. Yeah. But yeah, it was an excellent video. What are you looking up?
Florida's coastline is only like 1,300 miles. So where the fuck how far did they travel? Like,
there you go. Well, you know what it might be? It might be like they... Well, I was going to say there could be like in the panhandle, but then they also have to probably go across the state, correct? Like the state isn't that wide, but that adds to the miles though. Because I feel like they have like, I don't know.
Expect Token Daily on the channel apparently.
Oh, he's going to be on this channel? This is the channel that he's like moving towards, like working with? Okay. Good luck for him. Let's find out I mean, like, these guys, like, I have to admit, they really are on their, like, video editing game. And it's really funny because they have, like, these really nice, like, graphics in their videos, and they have a really nice, like, cover images and all this stuff. And then their icon is this, like, shitty little, like, Photoshop drawing. And it looks so bad. And then they have such nice graphics everywhere else. And it literally looks like it's, like, kind of, like, hand done, not straight. Like, what is that? Like, who did that? And then the rest of the website looks so good. Like, they even reused it here. Like, why would they do that? Like, look how
logo.
But it looks so bad.
It's like supposed to
It's
be
not
like a marker.
But see, it's like I've seen like the skateboarder ones where they make it look like marker and it looks more intentional. This looks like they just did not put it together. Like, that's great. That's a great logo.
That's better, yeah.
Like, that was like a little bit of thinking there. Yeah. I don't know. But they did a great job. They did a great job, and it was really worth the work. And I hope that everybody shares it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they legalize it.
Yeah. Is that bowl for me?
Yeah.
Can I take a bowl hit? Can you pass it?
But we're about tapped for the podcast. I want to thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. I always appreciate you guys listening, liking, reblogging, or just smoking. Appreciating the herb, listening to the herb's call, and growing more cannabis, cultivating it, expanding its genetics, getting more strains out there, and evolving it more and more, allowing it to live. Cannabis is one of those few plants and animals or creatures in this world that have actually been able to entrance the human enough to cultivate it as copiously as we do. I mean, you could say the same of maybe tobacco, but it has addictive properties. It's cannabis in itself that has this very unique and clean and psychedelic call to it that seems to grasp us all. The herb. Thank you guys for listening as always. Really, truly appreciate it. And really, thank you guys for purchasing from the shop. It keeps the website alive. I literally had to pay hosting bills a couple weeks ago. I had to pay,
it was like a couple days
a week
ago. Yeah, like it was last week.
Hosting bills, domain bills, like all the bills came up at once, and I was able to pay it thanks to you guys buying stuff from the site. Like if we were in the same place 2 years ago, we would be asking you guys or begging you guys for donations and possibly shutting down the website for periods of time to like let you guys know how serious
we were really begging.
Was,
yeah. It was one of those things where it's like now that like everybody's like, you know, supporting us and everything like that, we can give you guys better products. You know, we can branch out. Like
I can actually print stickers.
You can print stickers, but like, you know, we weren't selling papers before, and you know, we weren't selling like, you know, the socks before, and we started with the hemp wick, and you know, it's like
started from the ground up.
And hopefully keep moving forward.
Yep. Loving it. Really appreciate it. You know, one of my friends recently came to me and he told me that I don't want to call it a rival business, but someone in the same industry who also like has like an online like shop where they sell their own brand.
Oh yes.
They recently opened like a retail shop, like a
physical store.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, they're stepping their game up. I remember when I first saw their like big cartel page and they look like chumps, and now they're like apparently have their own retail store. So it's nice to see that you know, the people are growing, and it keeps me striving too. So thank you guys. Appreciate all the support, and make sure to follow us on all the social networks. Make sure to follow Mrs. WeedPornDaily, MRS WPD, and make sure to follow follow the smoke trail. Stay regular. Super stoners.